2023 shall come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
By Mark, seconded by Dana, that we approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Now to the consent agenda. First of all, look at letter D. Delete in there RS5 and delete RS12, leaving only RM12 when we act upon the motion for the consent agenda. Okay, with regard to that consent agenda, you have a copy of the minutes from January 16, 2023 and January 31st, 2023. Those were budget workshops. You need to set Tuesday, February 21st, 6 p.m. as the date for the next regular council meeting due to President's Day holiday, that preceding Monday. And we need to approve Resolution 2305, a resolution to set February 21st, 2023 at 6 p.m. for a public hearing on the status of funded activities for the CDBG CVN grant for the Lake Lofts apartment located at 2 North 4th Street with CRJ Properties as the developer. D, referral of zone change request to RM12 by Bill Yon for 28.49 acres north of 1511 North 20th Street to the Planning and Zoning Commission for their review and recommendation. And we need approval of the bills and claims, of which you have a copy. And we have the following licenses and permits. Liquor license, Class C, retail alcohol license, Hero Place, that's new. Special C, Class C, retail alcohol license, Top of Iowa Lucky Wife, that's new. Class E, retail alcohol license, Randy's Neighborhood Market, that's a renewal. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Gary, seconded by Mark, that we approve the consent agenda. We'll have a roll call due to the resolution. Mark?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
And Dana?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0, and Resolution 2305 is duly adopted, and the consent agenda is approved. We're at number 4. Now is the time and place for anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council and any issue or concern that is not, repeat, not on the agenda. Please approach the podium, state your name first and last, and give your address. The clerk can properly enter in the minutes. This is not a discussion time nor a question and answer time, but an opportunity for you to speak your part with the council listening. None appearing. We'll move along to unfinished business, of which we have none. We'll go directly to 6A, new business. 6A, Surf District Destination Iowa Creative Placemaking Project Review. Scott Flory, City Administrator. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. The blue sheet in your packet addresses this item. The first blue sheet there is the notice that was published in the newspaper indicating that tonight would be the date, time, place where the council would consider taking the additional action required under Code of Iowa on a proposal to enter into a future general obligation urban renewal loan agreement for purposes of carrying out the Surf District Destination Iowa Creative Placemaking Urban Renewal Project. So that notice was published in the newspaper on January 19th as required by law. That's not less than 10 or more than 20-day notice. And I would also add that it's not anticipated that we would be acting on any debt issuance until probably much later this year. The council had previously, of course, set tonight for the hearing that was done at your January 3rd council meeting. Again, notice published on the 19th. So tonight is the time and the place for the public hearing on this next step in the Surf District Creative Placemaking Destination Iowa project. I would just add, I've not received any written communication regarding the proposal from the city. I think I had said previously that this is a project that has a lot of steps along the way, and this is one of those, and I think it's a critical one. And there are many things. I think I shared this with a few of you previously. There are things as we do this project and go on with. There are certain things that we can control and can't control, and this is one of those. So, if a big board of important events, this is one of them for this. You're going to again take the additional action required by Iowa Code, which is a very big positive step forward in furtherance of this Surf District redevelopment project. So I guess I don't have anything further unless anyone has any questions. I'm just excited about the process and the projects, and this is one of those hurdles to clear, and it's a good kickstart. I think I said one of the last meetings, we haven't crossed the Rubicon yet, but with this move, I think we're in the water, and so long way to go. Formidable project ahead, not easy. Wheels can fall off the bus 1,000 different ways on this, but it's a big step.
Comments, questions, Scott, Council? Thank you, Scott. Now is the time and place for the public hearing with regard to the Surf District Destination Iowa Creative Place Making Project. If there's anyone in the audience that wishes to address that, please approach the podium. State your name, first and last, and give your address so the clerk can enter it in the minutes.
Mayor,
Welcome.
City Council, City Administrator, my name's Jeff Nicholas. I live at 715 North Shore Drive, Clear Lake, Iowa. Proud member of this wonderful community. If you'll indulge me just a minute, we're kind of on a little bit of a high from the weekend's events, and I want to talk just a little bit about those. We had folks from 31 states, just a few of the states. We had attendees from Alabama, Alaska, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New York, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, among others, and 3 foreign countries, Canada, Finland, and the UK. And I talked to the Canadians of Finland. I never talked to and the UK and the Canadian, but I never got to visit with the Finland people. I'm very disappointed. Usually there's some folks from Australia, because Buddy was huge in Australia. The wonderful tapestry that was woven on stage over the weekend was just amazing. The history and the musical journey that we took was just amazing. From artists that played in that time, and we had at least one where we had to help that artist up on stage onto a stool. And when that artist was done, we had to help him back, and he was thrilled to be there, and the fans just absolutely loved him. 2 folks that the newer generation of artists, some of the cover bands and some of the groups that were influenced by those folks that played here in 1959. So it was a wonderful, wonderful tapestry of a musical journey. And, I'd probably say this year, every year, but I think this is one of the best years we ever had. And Lori and Dale and Paul and Shane and all the staff and support was just incredible. The paid staff, the volunteer staff, we can't do it without volunteers. But I do want to make special mention of Shane, because he's the guy that weaves that musical journey for us every year. And he's got next year in his mind, because he remembers what we did this year and we did last year, and you can have these guys again and you can't, and we're looking at this, and we've talked to these folks, and so it's just an absolutely amazing event. The other thing I want to make notice is I was at the MEC, the Music Enrichment Center this afternoon. It was full of kids taking music lessons, and we run 90 kids a week through that center, giving them piano lessons, guitar lessons, vocal lessons. So unfortunately, those fine arts things are some of the first things to get cut in our school systems, and so we're trying to maybe pick up some of the slack. Think of what we can do with an enhanced music enrichment center. We're going to have to up our game in a big way, and we're ready, willing, and able to do that. Right now, your Clear Lake High School vocal jazz group are performing. There's a contest at the Surf. It started at 3 o'clock. New Hampton, Hudson, Union LaPorte, North Fayette, Iowa Falls, Charles City, among other high schools, are at the Surf today and being judged for their vocal jazz groups. And it was fun to just sit and listen to a few of them. I wish I could listen to Clear Lakes, but it was more important to be here. Just to give you a little feel for what we're doing at the Surf. And of course, we are so excited about the potential that is before us. And we are ready, willing, and able to stand with the city to see that this development, not only the bricks and mortar of the development happen, but the increased footprint and the increased profile that we're going to have in the music business and in the entertainment business and the tourism business. And the mayor always points out that this is a placement. This whole project is to make our community look like a place that people want to come to live here. It's not just all about hotel rooms and filling up your gas tank and buying groceries and these other things. It's about making a community that's appealing for folks to move and to live here, to continue to fill our schools and provide labor for the increased job employment, the increased labor market that we in fact need because we are growing. And so we're just so excited. And the last thing I want to say is that I think it's a testimony to a lot of things, and we can pat this, and of course I don't want to leave the Snyders out because they're the family that really are underpinning a lot of this. But I think it's a testimony to the leadership from Scott and the mayor and you folks, not only you folks that are sitting here now, but the folks that sat here prior to you, that there is so much positive, there really isn't any negativity out there about this. And that to me is the leadership and the things that you guys have done in the past. This community trusts you. If they didn't, they'd be saying, "What's going on? What's wrong?" This is a big project. I think you all know. We humbly know that this is a big project, but I think it's the leadership that you guys have all provided, and that really it will enable us to get over these big hills like we have tonight, and as Scott says, the 1,000 other little hurdles that we'll have down the road. So we stand as a organization ready, willing, able, and excited to stand beside you and move forward and do great things for the community that we love.
Thank you, John. Anyone else wish to speak? Welcome.
Mayor, Council, Chad Schreck, North Iowa Corridor, 9 North Federal, Mason City. And just echo what Mr. Nicholas had to say. Really excited about this project. It's something that our organization fully supports. Our business community has been very supportive and excited about. Just the opportunity, as he said, to build these amenities, to build a community, to build a place that people want to live and grow, build on an asset that's been so foundational to Clear Lake for so long, and to get it ready for the next 30, 40, 50 years is just vital. And we applaud the community, the city for taking a bold move like this. It's obviously a big investment. It's a big goal, and it's a big project, and it's going to take a lot of work. And we, again, are fully supportive. We're here for you any way we can help, any way we can rally business and community support. I know with their partners at the Chamber and the other tourism entities and community development, this is going to be something that we can all get behind, rally support for, and I think this is something that everyone can be proud of. So appreciate what you guys are doing. It's such a great way to leverage state support, community support, and it's something that's going to be foundational, again, to what we can do here moving forward for our youth and the next generation. So thanks for all you guys are doing on this.
Thank you, Chad. Anyone else? Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Bennett, that we close the public hearing with regard to the Surf District Destination Iowa Creative Placemaking Project. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you. Now we'll move to take action to approve Resolution 2306, a resolution, excuse me, taking additional action on proposal to enter into a general obligation urban renewal loan agreement. Motion, please.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Gary, seconded by Mark, that we approve Resolution 2306. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, if I could. I just want to say, I think this is a very exciting project for Clear Lake. I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. It really represents a significant investment in the future of the Surf District and our community. And honestly, I've never seen a project that has broader or deeper community support for it, really. So I think it's going to be a very exciting process, and I'll look forward to it. Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I got a comment there.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. This is a giant shift in paradigm for me. The concept of borrowing this much money is just totally contrary to my nature. But it's just such a wonderful opportunity, and it's so already well planned and well thought out, and it has a heck of a bunch to do with our future. So I'm going to support it, but the old Depression-era kid, or growing up with Depression-era parents in me, thinks, wow, this is something else. But anyway, here we go.
Thank you. Anyone else, Council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Here.
Not only does this enhance the area, the district down there, but this is going to be a huge, huge influence on the rest of the community and what it's going to bring to it. Mike, I agree with you on the Depression area type deal, but I support this 100%. Thank you.
Anyone else, Council? Thank you. This truly will be a transformational project in that area for the city of Clear Lake. Something that we can look forward to, all, as someone just said, in a positive frame of reference. Truly a transformational project for that area. Positive transformational project. All right, roll call. I thought we had it. We didn't have that? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2306, a resolution taking additional action on proposal to enter into a general obligation urban renewal loan agreement.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Gary, seconded by Dana, that we approve Resolution 2306. Is there any further discussion? Roll call. Mike?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
And Mark?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0, and Resolution 2306 is duly adopted. 6B, 2023 Street Resurfacing Project. Intro, Mr. Flory. What do we got?
Thank you, Mayor. Council will just run through some items here in the packet real quick. The first green sheet in your packet is resolution adopting the plan specification form contract and estimate of cost for the 2023 street resurfacing and alley improvement project, Divisions 1 and 2. On the back side of that, similar resolution, just making an awarded contract for the project. The purple sheets after that are a bid tabulation prepared by the city's consulting engineer, Jason Petersburg, indicating the summary of the bids and the recommendation for the award. Likewise, on the yellow sheet, just again, further information on the bid. Same on Division 1, same thing on the orange sheets for Division 2 in the packet. And you've seen this larger handout before, just a vicinity map depicting an overview of the various street segments that are to be included in the project. Just in the way of some background to get on this one, at your January 3rd meeting, you had set tonight as the date, time, place for the public hearing on this proposal on the plan specification form contract estimate of cost. Also, that same meeting is established January 31st, 11 o'clock is the date for the bid letting on the project. This notice was published, hearing published in the newspaper on January 19th. For fiscal year '23 and also into fiscal year '24, we had budgeted for this comprehensive street resurfacing project. As you recall, we made numerous improvements to the underground infrastructure in these same areas here the last year and a half or so, specifically the 2021 storm sewer and water main improvement project. So this project deals with a lot of that same area. Also involves street segments that, as we've discussed previously, have not been resurfaced for quite a number of years, so approximately 1.5 miles of roadway. Again, back on your map there, just geographically, the area is bounded by Main Avenue on the south, 7th Avenue North on the north, North 10th Street on the west, and North 20th Street on the east. Additionally, we also bid that east-west alley in the Surf District there, located between Buddy Holly Place and North 3rd Street. That was bid both as an HMA pavement alternate as well as a PCC pavement alternate. So, project in terms of description includes replacement of deficient curb and gutter sections, of course, milling and patching, 2-inch HMA resurfacing, ADA compliant sidewalks and ramps. And additionally, as we discussed previously, was the case with one of our more recent comprehensive street resurfacing projects. This also includes significant effective sidewalk replacement along the various segments of street that are proposed for resurfacing. As I mentioned, the project has two segments, Division 1 and Division 2. Division 1 included the PCC street patching, defective sidewalk, ADA compliant ramps, and then also spot curb and gutter replacement. Division 2, of course, includes the street resurfacing HMA pavement. As a reminder, the city bid this project previously. Division 1, the east-west alley there in the Surf District. If you recall, we only received the one bid on that project, and it was roughly around 60% over what the engineer's estimate of the probable cost of construction was. So, of course, we rejected that bid and decided that we would rebid this project over this winter, which, of course, we just did. So, in terms of the bids, so for Division 1, the lowest responsible bid was submitted by Wicks Construction of Decorah. So again, Division 1, the PCC work. That was in the amount of $462,039. So that's 19.8%, so just under 20% over the engineer's estimate of the probable cost of construction, which is $385,609. The other bidder, as you notice in your bid tabulation, Mid-Continent, they were only just a little bit higher than Wicks. So what that tells us again is those two bids are pretty indicative of what the market is for that kind of work. So the estimate was probably a little low based on what we're seeing in market conditions. You know, and I would just share, I've had some conversations in particular with the developer out in the Lake Time subdivision. He mentioned they were looking at PCC paving out there. And, you know, he mentioned the price of lumber is coming down, the price of pipe materials, these things are stabilizing. The one thing they haven't seen come down is PCC. So just kind of fits with what we saw here. He was not surprised by that. So both bidders also bid the PCC alley alternate, which we had an engineer's estimate of $66,517. Wicks, again, was the lowest responsible bidder on that east-west alley in the Buddy Holly district. They were at $94,803.52, so that was about 42.5% more than what the estimate was. And again, Mid-Continent, the other bidder, was only just slightly higher than that. So I think that's pretty indicative of what the market is for that product right now. The city received just the one bid for Division 2. The lowest responsible bid was submitted by Heartland Asphalt to Mason City in the amount of $593,315.31. So that was 3.8% above what the engineer's opinion of the probable cost of construction was, which was $571,351. Heartland did also bid the alternate bid, the east-west alley in the Buddy Holly district. Their bid for that work was $64,921.44, so that was only 2% above what the engineer's opinion of probable cost of construction on that was, which was $63,640. So the total cost of construction for, Jason's going to review the bid tabulation and recommendation here just momentarily, but total cost of just construction on this project for what we would recommend the council make the award for, which would be Division 1 base bid to Wicks Construction, Division 2 to Heartland Asphalt for base bid and alternate one for the alley. So the total cost of construction on this will equal $1,120,275.75. So Division One had a little more aggressive time frame for completion, so we anticipate work on that would probably begin around mid to late April and be complete by mid-June. Division Two, we have work scheduled after the 4th of July and then being completed by the end of August. So I don't have anything further for background on that, but be happy to take any questions. Again, Jason's going to review the recommendation with you, and then you have the public hearing tonight. I have not received any written communication regarding the proposal this evening, so I just add, I think it's a great project, something we've been planning for a little while, and, again, when we look at the streets, this is, again, when we look at what we did underground the previous year, we used ARPA money on those underground infrastructure improvements. Not everyone pays a lot of attention to those, but they're very integral to all the things that we do here as a city. You're talking some pretty aggressive spending here. It doesn't always seem like that. There's a lot of miles of street, and there's a lot of, this time of year, a lot of potholes, but this one project alone, you're pushing $1.2 million here just for the street resurfacing. So.
Questions for Scott? Thank you, Scott. Review of bid letting and recommendation to award contract. Jason Petersburg, Beanstra and Kim. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Scott did a pretty good job of covering everything there, so I'm just going to touch briefly on the bid tabulations. Division One, the concrete work for the project, which was the concrete patching work, some curb and gutter patching, some limited driveway work, and then the ADA sidewalks. We did receive 2 bids. Wicks Construction out of Decorah, Mid-Continent Contracting out of Mason City. Both bids were over the estimate, but they were very comparable in their total cost. So like Scott mentioned, we do feel that this does reflect the current market for this work, even though it is over the estimate. The concrete alley alternate that was bid was substantially over the estimate. I will note that we bid Division One, the concrete work, back in July of '22, and the low bid received now is about $70,000 less than what it was back in July. So the bids did go down by rebidding this project. B&K does recommend the city award the Division One contract to Wicks Construction out of Decorah for base bid work only in the amount of $462,039. Regarding Division Two, there's only one bid that was received for that, which is the asphalt work. That bid was from Heartland Asphalt. The base bid amount and the asphalt alley alternate were both relatively close to what the estimates were. I'll note that we bid the alley as both a concrete paving and an asphalt paving. We designed them to be equivalent pavement structures, so we did bid them apples to apples. We didn't take into consideration one being a lesser product than the other. So no preference there. The asphalt alley bid is approximately $30,000 less than the equivalent concrete bid for the alley paving. So we do recommend that the city award the asphalt alley paving alternate along with the base bid for Division Two to Heartland Asphalt, making the total award $658,236.75. Any questions on the bid tab?
Council, any questions for Jason on the bid letting?
Yeah, just one real quick, Jason. On the Heartland bid on the alley for the asphalt, is that a 4-inch base, or what's the depth on that? For
10-inch rock base and 5.5 inches of asphalt. over
Okay,
the base.
so it'll be very substantial for the traffic that uses that alley, trucks and things like that.
Structure-wise, it's the equivalent of 6 inches of rock and then 6 inches of concrete over it.
Terrific. Thank you very much.
Any other questions, council?
I'd just add, with respect to both contractors have done significant work here over the years. Both have done a really good job for us, so if you award it, we're excited to work with them again.
Thank you, Jason. Now is the time and place for the public hearing with regard to the 2023 street resurfacing project. Is anyone in the audience who wishes to address that project? Please approach the podium. State your name and your address. None appearing, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the 2023 street resurfacing project. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Bennett, seconded by Dana, that we close the public hearing with regard to 2023 street resurfacing project. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. And now I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2307. And this is a resolution that will approve plans, specs, form of contract, and the estimate of costs for both of those divisions. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Mike, that we approve Resolution 2307. Is there any discussion? Roll call. Gary?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
Dana? Yes. Mark?
Yes.
And Mike?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. And now I'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2308. And we are approving a resolution making an water contract to two for Division 1. That will be Wicks Construction out of Decorah, Iowa, and for the base bid, and that's $462,039. And Division 2, we're awarding to Heartland Asphalt out of Mason City, Iowa. And that's approving the HMA, hot mix asphalt, on the overlay as well as the alley. And that is in the amount of $658,236.75. So we are approving both of those with this motion. Resolution 2308. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Gary, seconded by Mark, that we approve Resolution 2308. Is there any discussion? Roll call. Bennett?
Yes.
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
And Gary?
Yes.
Carries 5-0. Resolution 2308 is duly adopted. Thank you. 6C, 2023 Lake Time Subdivision Urban Revitalization Area Plan Review. Mr. Flory.
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. In your packet, there's a few items related to this item. The first one is Exhibit 3, pink sheet in your packet, public hearing notice. This was a notice that was published in the newspaper December 19th, or excuse me, January 26th of this year, indicating that tonight was the time and the place for the public hearing on a proposal to consider the adoption of the urban revitalization plan pursuant to Chapter 404 of the Code of Iowa. Then on the backside of that is a resolution adopting the 2023 Lake Time Urban Revitalization Plan. Following that is an ordinance that, again, approves the designation of the 2023 Lake Time Urban Revitalization Area. So we've talked about this probably 3 or 4 times, but just in the way of some further background information on this. This, of course, in furtherance of the anticipated subdivision being developed there at 2605 South Shore Drive. We've had this Planscape Partners here in the community has helped us prepare this urban revitalization plan for your consideration. So appreciate Ron being here tonight and his work on that. So at the December 19th meeting, the council had approved the resolution of necessity. And again, then at that meeting set tonight is the date, time, place for the public hearing on this proposal. As I mentioned, Chapter 404 is the enabling legislation, Code of Iowa, that allows cities to have the authority to adopt these urban revitalization plans. There are a number of different formulas prescribed in that chapter of the code that you can offer these incentives on a different schedule. The one that we've selected provides for an abatement schedule similar to what we've used in the past. For example, Pine Brook subdivision, we used this same type of abatement schedule. It's an exemption from the taxation on the first $75,000 of assessed value of the improvements for a period of 5 years. Using our current consolidated tax rate, which is about $29.80 or so per thousand of taxable valuation. That equates out to about $1,200 annually in terms of a benefit for the properties in this particular subdivision. So the schedule, you can see kind of the steps that we've taken before. Like a lot of things in government, there's a lot of bureaucracy associated with it and a lot of steps. And so this is, we're getting close on this one. We're on page 2. And so February 6th, tonight again, is the public hearing and consideration of the resolution adopting the urban revitalization plan and first reading of the ordinance designating the area as urban revitalization area. So we're not in any urgency to waive any readings. So we showed the schedule running out for the full 3 readings. So final adoption on this would be at your council meeting on March 6th. And then March 9th, the city clerk would file the ordinances with the county. So I don't have anything further on that prior to the public hearing. Again, I did not receive any written communication prior to the public hearing, so happy to answer any questions.
Council, any questions of Scott?
Mentioned part of the reason we moved President's Day, I was going to say this earlier, is because Mike Callahan has a big party at his house on President's Day. It's his favorite holiday, so we have to have that off here. Did you hear that, Mike?
I'm one of the few people that actually knows all those old presidents.
Age 2. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. Now is the time and place for the public hearing with regard to the 2023 Lake Time Subdivision Urban Revitalization Area Plan. If there's anyone in the audience that wishes to address that, please approach the podium, state your name first and last, and give your address so the clerk can properly enter the minutes. None appearing, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing with regard to 2023 Lake Time Subdivision Urban Revitalization Area Plan. Motion, please.
So, second.
Moved by Mark, seconded by Dana, that we close the public hearing on the 2023 Lake Time Subdivision Urban Revitalization Plan. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Now entertain a motion to take action to approve Resolution 2309, a resolution adopting the Lake Time Subdivision Urban Revitalization Area Plan. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Mark, that we approve Resolution 2309. Is there any discussion? Roll call, Dana.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Gary.
Yes?
And Bennett.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Resolution 2309 is duly adopted. Now entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 875, an ordinance designated an area of the city of Clear Lake, Iowa as the 2023 Lake Time Subdivision Urban Revitalization Area. Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Gary, seconded by Mark, that we approve ordinance number 875 on the first of 3 readings. Is there any discussion? Roll call. Mark.
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Gary.
Yes?
Bennett.
Yes.
And Dana.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0, and ordinance number 875 is duly adopted. This will be a wonderful area, in my opinion, upon its completion down the road a bit. 6D, annual report from the Veterans Memorial Golf Club Review. Bryce Furman, Board President. Welcome, Bryce.
Mr. Mayor, City Council members. Again, my name is Bryce Furman. I'm here on behalf of the Veterans Memorial Golf Club. Also here with us is Jason Floy, our Vice President, and Jay Berge, also a board member. I want to special shout out to Jay Berge. He has done a fantastic job as president of our board, and hopefully I can fill those big shoes that he had. But we appreciate his leadership, and we're well on our way to another great 2023 year. So just want to give a quick overview. We're pleased to provide you with this annual report. We've seen some great net positive profits in the last several years. As you know, we've had some years where weather has kind of blocked some good play throughout the year. This year was, I would say, fairly uneventful. Obviously, we had some instance with the cart sheds where the storm took down our cart sheds, but that's been resolved. We've also had to deal with some rising costs. We're aware of that. We're addressing that. But overall, just another fantastic year for the golf course. We want to thank the City of Clear Lake for their continued support. The partnership between the City of Clear Lake and Veterans Memorial Golf Club Foundation has proven to be successful, and we plan to continue that as well. So in your packet, we provided a financial review of the course. So you'll see that we had gross revenues of $466,107.27. After cost of goods sold, our net revenues were $345,819.28. Slight uptick from 2021, not very much, just slight. So as I said before, we had some increase in costs, so we were right about a break even this year. I know we've had some, net profits over the course, but I'll get into some more of the investments that we made in the course to talk about that a little bit. So, just a couple of things. We wanted to highlight that the operation is debt-free, so we've made some investments to make sure we are debt-free this year for the course. There may be some things coming up in the future we might need, but we don't see anything in the near future. Working in partnership with the city and a strong base of our donors, we can again, and we have made significant improvements to the grounds and facilities. As a board, along with the grounds and clubhouse directors, we believe the annual improvements to the course is necessary to maintain the integrity of the course. Just some most recent improvements that we've done is we've rebuilt the tee boxes on number 3 and 9. We've also done some improvements on number 2 and also some improvements on number 5. So we've worked around the course on some of those tee boxes, building up the landscaping and things like that. We have replaced quite a few trees. Some of the ash trees we've been taking down kind of in segments so we can replace them so we don't take them all out at the same time. We're continuing to do that. We took some out behind number 7, put some new autumn blaze trees behind there. So we're continuing to do that and work on that. And so it's work in progress, We have a tree fund, and currently we're at a balance of $1,653, but we made some significant investments in some of those trees, as I noted. But we're hoping with the membership this year and the donations, we'll be able to build that back up, and we're fairly confident we can do that. We're currently off to a great start with 2023 members. We have 85 that have prepaid so far, but we're still looking, for more members to join as we continue into February and March. So we are extremely fortunate to have dedicated employees, main employees at the course. When we implement a project, when we ask them to do anything, they are more than ready to jump in and get things done with their crews. Jeremy Amison and Mike Oyman, without hesitation, they've stepped up and asked whatever we've asked them to do. They've worked beyond our expectations. We had a really good season as far as membership this year. We ended the 2022 season with approximately 289 season pass holders, and of those, 19 were new. Additionally, there are approximately 71 friends of the golf club, and each of these voting members has contributed financially and also contributed their time as far as being on any sort of volunteers or served on boards and committees. Consistent with our operating agreement with the city, we've established our capital improvement fund. This is where we hold off any excess funds from the operation for future capital projects. I'm pleased to announce that we donated $10,000 to that fund this year, and we're hoping to do at least $5,000 again this next year. Our total balance in that fund now is $51,917.90. So with that and with our, I know, we were kind of a break even, but our working capital is in strong position. We've got a good cash fund, good operating cash, and so we feel confident in that moving forward, along with our capital improvement fund. We've also enclosed our 2023 proposed budget. After our first 11 golfing seasons, we feel like we have a pretty good handle on our potential expenses and our potential revenues at the golf course. We're forecasting that similar revenues and expenses for next year, but we're making some adjustments as well. We know that costs have gone up, so we've had to make some increases as far as that is concerned. But we also review those green fees and other fees annually. So we make adjustments if needed. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We are going to make some adjustments going into 2023. We have renewed our course superintendent, Jeremy Amison's contract for 2023. His knowledge and experience and his knowledge for keeping the course in great condition is unbelievable, unmatched. As you can drive by the course, you'll see that it's in great condition year to year, and it's truly a testament to his work ethic and his knowledge. We also renewed Mike Oyman's contract as Director of Golf and Clubhouse Manager. His duties are just abundant. He's busy throughout the course of the year, but he does a nice job of creating a great atmosphere for our customers to come in and play golf and enjoy, the course that we have. And it just really runs smoothly. Whether it's league night or anything like that, he's willing to step up and do the extra things to make things run smoothly. So we appreciate Mike. So in conclusion, the course is in good shape. As you look at our financials, we've made some investments into the course, and we're going to continue to make investments in the course. We've got a great dedicated board that's always paying attention to what's going on out there, keeps in touch with Mike and with Jeremy and the other crews on what's going on. So we're really in good shape so we can operate positively and effectively well into the future. Being a nonprofit organization, the City of Clear Lake and its residents can be assured that all the potential proceeds from the operation will be reinvested into the property and its operation. And we believe that the nonprofit business model, coupled with strong support from the City of Clear Lake, assures that Veterans Memorial Golf Club the best chance for long-term sustainability. We want to thank you for your leadership when the property was in jeopardy. We want to thank you for support during our years of operation. And we really look forward to a long-term partnership and all the benefits to this important community attraction. Thank you.
That was a great report, great presentation. I want to thank you for that. And I do believe, and I think you have it here, that we've been operating under this 501c3 grant that Scott wrote, 12, 13 years ago now. And obviously, Scott, you did a good job. They're in the,
Well,
they're in the,
hardly
in the,
alone,
in the
but-
green here. So appreciate that much. And how it's, I think 3 of us sitting here are club members and play that. One guy plays it about 3 times a day, but it's well used. Do we know as far as green fees this year, not club members, but green fees up, down, or about the same?
So I believe with some memberships the memberships went up a little bit. The green fees, I believe we stayed the same as what we were last year as far as green fees.
Tree fund, are we cutting those, the golf club, Jeremy or somebody cutting those trees down, or do we bring someone in?
So it's kind of been a combination. Sometimes we have Clapper come in and cut some down. Sometimes Jeremy does some on his own. The city has been kind enough to help us do some of the cleanup on some of those, but it's kind of been a combination. Depending on where the trees are, the safety of cutting them down, we had to have a line kind of come in and help with some of the power lines. We're on number 7. So it's been kind of a combination of everything. So.
In the irrigation, what was it, 8 and 9 there, are we getting that?
So yeah, that's a good point. So that we did have to do some work on our pump as far as.
That was it, yeah.
Yep, we had to do some work on that. There's also some meter work that's been done that was both of those were fairly aged, and so updating those was pretty crucial to helping that system as well. So yeah, we've got a lot of those issues resolved with those improvements.
So I call it brush that's piled up along North Shore Drive there now by number 7. We're the ones that are hauling that away? Yeah.
Yep.
I met with Jeremy today, just kind of talking about how we can get in there and where we're safe to drive. So we should start that hopefully in the next few days, depending on weather. If it gets too wet, we'll pull off those trees. This warm weather might stop us. He kind of showed a scenario where we can drive and be careful. So we appreciate your help.
Is there still some over to the right of number 2 there, green?
I haven't looked back there recently. I don't know if there's a big pile back.
I talked to Jeremy, and we might bring our drum mulcher in there and just kind of mulch that up into some mulch that they can use around the course in some spots as needed. So since it's smaller, we'll be able to chip it up pretty small.
Now, this has been a great partnership. Scott, you did well when you put that together. I mean, we really work very, very well together, and it's been good for the community to keep that. I would have hated to have seen that go by the wayside to something other than a golf course, the time it's been there. A long, long time, yeah.
So much credit to the 501c3 for all the work you guys are doing. Great partnership, like I mentioned a little while ago, the irrigation system, the pump partnered with you on that. And so just a lot of good partnerships over the years out there. But over the years, I've seen many board presidents, and all of them have done such a great job out there. And with their leadership, that course has done well.
Jason, thank you, too. Done well in supporting out there. Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Chief, report?
Mayor, Council, I wasn't going to have a report tonight, but I see Mike sitting in the audience, so I thought I'd make sure he was up to date. As I mentioned last meeting, we're still compiling and reviewing our annual numbers for 2022. I think we'll be able to get that to you hopefully by next meeting. We do have a couple straggling reports that come in after the month, so trying to get those in. I was fortunate to attend a meeting today with Fire Chief Myers down in Sheffield with the Lieutenant Governor about a pilot project for EMS services. It was a nice meeting. Thanks, a big shout out to Suka Manufacturing for hosting it. And then like was said tonight from Jeff earlier, the winter dance party from our point of view was very successful. Another great year another great event for the community. With the construction going on down there, we kind of talked with Jeremy and the surf about coning off that 7th Ave North that you saw that cone section there to kind of keep traffic moving freely through that area. So I talked to Lieutenant Hines, who's the evening shift excuse me, commander, and he said that they had no issues, no traffic issues at night, especially in the dark. And again, this is another success. Hats off to the staff at the surf for another great event. So that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Council, any questions for Chief? And we're set for Color the Wind. It's not this weekend, but it's
The 18th,
before our
yep.
next meeting, so.
We are, the maps are out. We still have just some minor tweaking to work with the chamber and Public Works, but we're all set for it, so.
Looks like that traffic pattern that you had described is,
I think we're gonna try to make sure that, with the traffic we had last year and the number that we have, we wanna make sure people can see it. We have multiple ADA parking areas identified, and we'll have some more officers working that day just to help keep it running smoothly, so.
we had the only backup from here to Sioux City, I think, wasn't it? That? There were a lot of people that came through. Questions, Chief? Thank you, appreciate it. Public Works, Jeremy?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Try to keep it short here, just a few items. If you notice 12th Avenue South, there's a road closure down there, started today. Flint Hills Resources is doing some pipeline maintenance, and unfortunately, the portion they're having to work on is right underneath 12th Avenue South. It's about 20 feet deep there, so probably about 2 weeks, they said, will be their work schedule. They got to dig all the way through 12th Avenue South, do the repairs, and then replace it. I've talked to them about pavement replacement. What we'll have them do is put in a temporary surfacing and then come back in the spring when the ground thaws out and have them repave it. So it's a good product to finish off. The only other couple items I have is the roll-off that we budgeted for this fiscal year. The chassis was delivered last week, and we brought it up to Christ Steel up in Lake Crystal, Minnesota, to get the hook lift system installed. So hopefully we have that back in here in a couple weeks, and then we'll have another piece of equipment to our fleet. And then we also, last week or the week before, we solicited bids for our centerline paving to try and get that on the schedule. I know last year we were lucky enough to get in ahead of some other cities and counties that weren't able to get theirs done. So hopefully we're out ahead of that and can get that on the schedule so we don't have any issues. Hopefully there's not a paint shortage like there was last year as well. So other than that, nothing else for you, unless you have any questions for me.
Guys gotten some sleep lately?
I think so, a little break in the weather. So I know they had, last weekend they had Saturday, Sunday work again. So but looks like I shouldn't say anything. Forecast looks pretty good for the next 2 weeks, so.
Yeah, you don't want to
Nice
jinx.
warm weather, but usually that can bring some big snows too, so, we'll see.
It's well done, you know, well done. Tough couple of weeks there, really.
Yeah, well, that and when you have events around town as well to deal with, it kind of creates a lot of issues, so. But no, they got through it, good.
Council, any questions? Thank you, Jeremy.
Thanks.
Director of Finance, Administrative Service Report, Creighton Schmidt. Welcome, Creighton.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The first item I have to review is in purple towards the end of your packet there, and it is a design agreement for a new shelter out at the ORC, and the design agreement is with Berglund and Cram in the amount of $7,680. And so the project we're looking out there at the ORC, of course, that area has become extremely popular, not only for soccer, but for flag football was bigger than it's been this year, thanks to what we're doing over at the Wellness Center and with rec programming in the city. So just an exciting project because there are a lot of people already using this facility, and now there's a need that's arisen for restrooms, a shade area, some storage for the soccer group. And I'd also like to take a moment to even thank the North Iowa Soccer Club because they have graciously donated $30,000 to this project. So they see this area as something that they'll continue to use in the future and an area of growing popularity. So we are excited to work on this project and get some restrooms and shelter out there. Besides that, we are going to have a more full review of the budget, but of course there was an error made at the state level that has affected all localities in the state. It had to do with the residential rollback. So the number, when you're looking at the residential rollback, we had budgeted to be about 56%, and now they've said that there was an error made, and now it's going to be around 54%. So they approved that at the state Senate level. Today they were supposed to meet again, but we're in a bit of a holding pattern. It doesn't really make sense to us for us to continue printing everything out and sharing it here if we're going to have to make those adjustments, because it will be an adjustment to revenue. And of course, we've already gone through the departments. They've all submitted their requests. We've gone through with the number that we thought it was going to be, and now it will be changing a little bit, most likely, and the due dates might change as well. But we're in a little bit of a holding pattern. Shouldn't have a huge impact on our budget, but rather than moving forward at this point, we're going to wait and see what the state recommends.
Might say a major faux pas there.
Yeah.
Lots of administrative implications for cities around the state.
Hello, is there anybody home down there? Any questions for Creighton? Shane's in the audience here, and probably, speaking to the ORC, probably remembers when there was a guy on the council at one time that said to a developer,
I
don't you
remember
know that there's a gas line underneath that area? Not Shane, it wasn't Shane, but he remembers that. But anyway, it's turned into a wonderful, wonderful area for recreation, period. Good area, neat area. Thank you. Under Mayor's report, I'm going to call on the Assistant Fire Chief, Mike Keefe, to give the Clear Lake Fire Department first. Welcome, Mike.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Mike Callahan, you probably taught half those presidents. That's part of the problem. Just to review a little bit, I think Doug sent you over. We had 137 calls in January. That was a pretty good number. One of the interesting calls was we had a vehicle fire up in the quarry that Lehigh operates north of Mason City, and that's a whole new world up in there when you get in there. He lost Charleston lost one of his large quarry trucks, caught on fire, so we had to try and manipulate through the mud and hopefully not get hit by another quarry truck coming from Lehigh, but we made it up through there. It was an interesting call, anyway, to say the least. As the other calls are going real well, we've got obviously that four-man staff over there now. We have some pretty good results with that. Matter of fact, we had 2 cardiac calls within about 3 minutes of each other here several weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I guess it was now. And it was nice to have both crews there, able to take those people to the hospital. We've got 3 new firefighters on board. They've completed their rookie school, took them through the burn building, which was an experience for some of them, never been there before, so there was a learning curve there for them. We also were able to get those 3 guys out on the water, out on the aerator out here for some ice rescue training. Almost everybody there, the 20-some guys that were there that day, everybody got in the water except me. I don't swim, so I'm not going out there. But they had some good training. They've never been involved in an ice suit before, those 3, and so they got some really good training out of that. So we're continuing with that. We'll be doing some more training this month again on some EMS stuff and some other ice rescue stuff. We've got 1 firefighter that completed his firefighter 2 certification, which he did it all on his own, did his own training, went to Mason City 2 nights a week to go through firefighter 2, which is an accomplishment for him, and we're glad to have him. Ben Hunt did that. He also completed his EMT training and got himself certified, and that's going to be a big help to us because he's also going to be doing some work. I think they came over and talked to everybody. We got Ben going to be doing some shift work for the EMS side, which is great. It's good to have him around. So the other thing is we got a little information back. The truck is proceeding. Hopefully they're going to be working on that. We're going to get that going a little bit further. We'll also be a presence at the Kite Festival and also the ice race. We'll have some people out there from EMS side, plus also the volunteers will be on that. One other thing I'll talk about is we received a gift from Community Health Centers in Mason City and Fort Dodge. And what it is, it's called a Life Back. We've got 10 of these. And what it is, it's a tool we'll be using in case of someone calls in a choking victim. And as easy as it operates, I'm surprised. I think everybody should probably have one at home. This guy invented this thing. He started the process in 2011. I just read his website today. 2011, he invented it because he had a situation where a young individual was choking and they couldn't survive. He couldn't survive, and so he decided there's got to be an easier way to make this work. And instead, the Heimlich maneuver doesn't always work. So what he did, he went out, got it approved, invented it, got it approved by the Food and Drug Administration. So community gave us 10 of these, and so we're going to get 5 of them on our equipment. We're going to get 5 of the PD. And I think we're going to try to get maybe some more bought through our association funds to hopefully maybe put some at the school. I think if you're a parent with young kids, it'd be crazy not to have one of these. It's such a simple thing. It's just a matter of you put it over the face like almost like a mask for CPR, and it just push down, pull out. And I just got on his website today. They had a save there of a 1-year-old that choked on a piece of candy. They couldn't get it out with the Heimlich maneuver. A lady was driving by and saw the father out there struggling and giving them the back blows. And she pulled over because she'd just gotten one of these, put it in her diaper bag, took it out, and saved the kid. Since 2011, when he started working this project, he's had 533 saves with it. So we're going to put them in operation. Again, hopefully we can get more in town to do it, but we wanted to thank Community Health Center of Mason City and Fort Dodge for their gift to these things. And they're not very expensive at all, and I think hopefully we can get them, maybe even put one here, put one out at the Wellness Center, get some of these around town, maybe at the school, if the school accept them in their cafeteria area, and some other places. But I think it's a heck of a tool that we can use for someone that's choking.
We could use that when we're working on the budget with Mike, because he chokes a lot when we get to those numbers.
You might have to, you buy 2 for that. I don't know. Any other questions, comments?
Well, that, great Clear Lake Fire Department, great safety forces that we have, PD. We've got the best here, so thanks, appreciate that. Great report. Under Mayor's report, continuing on, we're very appreciative of our Clear Lake Chamber for really two awards that we got at the Chamber annual meeting, January 27th at the Surf Ballroom, and I believe they had 200 people there. And our Wellness and Athletic Center received the Education Award, deservedly so. And we, as a city, all of us sitting here, received the North Iowa Service Award. So very appreciative, and thanks to the Chamber of Commerce, and thanks to all of council here and staff members here. We are all a part of that award that we received from the Chamber. So thanks to everyone. Quickly, Jeff did a good job on this winter dance party, but my wife and I have been going to that for a good number of years. And each year we say, well, I wonder if this will go next year, And in talking with Lori at the beginning, she said, this was like a couple weeks before it. She already had 1,400 people that were coming. And now we don't just sell one ticket for 3 days, but we can sell individual tickets as well. And each night that my wife and I were there were at least 1,400 to 1,500 people, my guess, each night through there. The age ranges maybe has gone up the scale a little bit, but what a wonderful event. Personal opinion, of course, but you see lots and lots of people, as Jeff said. What did he say? 31 states and three countries. My wife got talking to someone from Finland. She says that was an interesting experience in itself. They're still in darkness over there because of the seasonal changes as well, but they're very, very, very pleased to be here. And I think those acts, some of them, as Jeff says, you frankly have to lift the person up on the stage to perform, but yet that act that ended Friday night, for me, I thought that was really, really good. And, Shane has got all this stuff in the back of his cranial cavity, and he keeps that there year after year after year. And each time they're different, or those who have been here before and have been a hit, and you can get them back, reasonably get them back. It's a fantastic show. And I talked to one group that always stop in here, and the guys are out of Oklahoma, and Shane, Jeff, you know who they are, but they always ask me, can I have a free pass out of jail in case we do something wrong? And, they go to different restaurants in the North Iowa area. They went to Wesley for chicken one night. They went to Leland for ribs. They just like exploring North Iowa. So to say that's just a Clear Lake thing is erroneous. I mean, they go all over this North Iowa area. So it's still a great event. And we celebrate the music, and that's what it's all about. Jeff gets on the stage. He's perfect for that, just perfect for that. The other night he was doing a cartwheel or something there, but he did that job good too. Anyway, we won't go any further on that one. City Administrator's report. Scott?
Just real quick, I know it's getting late here. Thanks to the Iowa Concrete Paving Association, Nelson, myself, Craig and Jennifer got to go down and receive an award. We got one of those in 2006, I think it was, when we did North Shore Drive, recognizing us for outstanding work on that project. So appreciate that. Comprehensive Plan Open House, we have that set for February 8th and 9th. The 8th is 4 to 6 p.m. The 9th is noon to 1 at the Wellness Center. So, and then the last item is something that is kind of a late comer. We kind of came across this. There's a lot of these federal funding opportunities out there, and this one is called RAISE. And they've had it for a number of years, and it's gone by different acronyms over the years, but more recently it's called RAISE, R-A-I-S-E. And there's like a $1.5 billion available for certain kinds of street infrastructure type projects. And so got to looking at kind of the criteria that they require. It's a really extensive application process. So it's going to take somebody, so reached out to a consultant that has done several of those to kind of help us put that together. But it requires a number of boxes that are to be ticked. And so it's not a program that fits a typical residential street in any community. It needs to have a lot of intermodal type transportation opportunities, pedestrian opportunities, connection to interstate is good. So Creighton and I got to talking about this one day, and we kind of came up with, and they want technology issues and, you know, electric vehicles and all these kinds of things. So we kind of got kicking around a good project, and it kind of goes back a number of years. But the 193 interchange, 4th Avenue South between the interstate and South 8th Street, trying to create a better, first of all, one of the criteria is the street needs to be reworked. And so that definitely does. I think that's one of Jeremy's top wish list streets is the 4th Avenue South, the cracking we've done over the years, but it needs to be overlaid in this. So kind of looking through some of the criteria, there's about 8 different criteria. I think we ticked the box on about 7 of them. Now, highly, highly, highly competitive kind of program. So what we would want to pursue this year would be funding for planning and design. So taking a look at that 4th Avenue South corridor, increasing, you know, sidewalks, bike lanes, street lighting, reimagining that. And so there's an opportunity to get that planning and design funded. The application is due February 28th. I've looked at several years. There's some really big projects across the country that have been funded by that. So, you know, our odds are, you know, as good as anybody, I guess, but it's extremely competitive. So if we would receive funding to go through design, planning, then we would try to target another funding application for the following year to go after funding for these kind of major projects. So we've got a proposal from SEH in there to help us out with that. So if you're okay with that, we'll go ahead and pursue it. Just think it fits it fits a need and an opportunity for us, so.
Sounds like a great opportunity, really.
Could be.
It's a federal grant,
Oh,
right?
oh, yes,
Yeah,
yep.
so, no, thank you.
Complete with all the
Yeah.
strings.
Right.
That's all I've got.
Questions, Scott? Anything?
Just a comment, Scott, North Shore Drive Award was 2015, not 2006. Just wanted to speak up.
Oh, geez, that got away from me, 2006. Yeah, I reflect back on that. I think that's when Mike came on the council, so everything was a blur after that, but kidding.
Gotta keep you honest once in a while.
Don't worry, I'll be over at your house using your driveway for the kite festival, so.
No, the neighbor's got it in there already.
Oh, really?
Cars.
Okay.
Anything else, Council?
Can I say one other thing? Yeah, I just want to thank the council from the fire department standpoint too. As Doug said in the paper, we've gone to Category 3 in ISO rating. That came about because of a lot of work that your council did and past council done to get us up to standard there. But that's a pretty big thing. There's very few communities in the United States that have a 3 rating, so we're at that 3 level. So